What up, nomads? In this video, I'm covering one of my favorite fall activities, going away to a cottage, or a chalet as we call them in Quebec. If you've caught my video on how to pack for a lake house trip, that was the summer version, and now we're tackling a fall packing list for a quick weekend getaway. Let's go. In my experience, there are typically two types of chalet weekend getaways. The first one is where nature is the attraction. You're going to hike, be outdoors, and take in the beautiful fall colors. The second is where the cottage itself is the attraction. Maybe the cottage features a hot tub or a sauna, a fireplace, and an outdoor fire pit, and is incredibly cozy, and your goal is really to relax with friends or alone. As always, my top questions before building any packing list are weather, activities, vibe, and trip length. We can already fill in the vibe and length because those are a weekend, likely starting Friday after work and ending Sunday midday when you have to sadly return to real life. As for vibe, well, it's kind of a given. It's either going to be super cozy or sporty, or some combination of the two. Maybe there's a world in which it's a bougie cottage, but that's not a vibe that I'm prepared to cover. So that leaves weather and activities. Let's assume it's anywhere from 5 degrees Celsius or 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit for you lucky folks who live somewhere in the south. Now, hopefully it's not raining, but I'll share some tips in case it is. Next, let's think of activities. I think the main question is the hiking situation. Are we talking light walk and cleared paths or trailblazing day-long hikes? This may impact how technical you need your clothing to be. Other than that, most activities at a cottage can be done with the same types of clothes you would wear anywhere, from sitting around to being in front of a fire pit to cozying up in front of a movie. So, with those variables bouncing around in our heads, let's tackle outerwear first. If sadly it's raining, you need to pack a raincoat. Even if you don't plan on being outside for very long, and if you do, then make sure that you have a good raincoat that's suitable for the amount of water exposure you're expecting. For my breakdown on jacket weatherproofing, check out my video on how to pack for the rain. If you plan to be hiking, think about using the onion style of dressing. That means that your inner layer should be some merino wool layer or silk, and then in the middle you can either have a fleece or some sort of insulating layer depending on how cold it really is. And then your final layer should be either a wind blocking or a rain blocking layer on top. So this is what a lot of backpackers and hikers and outdoorsy people will recommend as the triple threat of layering for the outdoors. If it's not rainy and you're not trying to summit 3 mountains in a weekend, here's some outerwear suggestions that I've placed on a spectrum from really cold to super warm. You can pack a coat, a puffer, a fleece, a windbreaker, a shacket, a vest, a sweater, a denim jacket, a sweatshirt, or just a light flannel shirt. Which one you pick is absolutely up to you and the weather. And you can also easily mix and match any of these to layer them up or shed layers throughout the day. Often in the fall, it starts out cool in the morning, gets really hot midday, and then gets cool again at night. Now let's talk about clothing, starting with pants. Again, if you're hiking and there's a chance of rain, this should be the biggest influencer on which pant you select. In these cases, I'd go for something in a technical fabric, like something that's water repellent, and you can get these at any sports stores like LL Bean, Lululemon. These are from Kit and Ace. Golfing brands have these kind of active hiking pants that still look like a nice trouser. You can also pack leggings or joggers for those who like active hiking or running. As for the rest of us, anything goes, from jeans, sweatpants to sweater pants and PJs for lounging around. I'd recommend bringing at least one pair of pants that you deem for the outside and one for the inside. So you're not really like trying to get cozy and comfortable in jeans that you've been wearing outside and might be a little bit smoky and dirty. For tops, T-shirts, tank tops, sweaters, all of these are great, and I do think anything goes here. Whatever makes you comfortable. I also love bringing my graphic tees and my funny sweatshirts and my cozy knits that kind of have a vintage vibe to them, because if I'm not at the chalet, where else am I gonna wear them? So just make sure that you bring enough tops to have a sweater that you might be wearing outside around the campfire, and then something that's really meant for indoors, because it's likely that your outside clothing is gonna smell a little bit like campfire, and it might also get a little dirty, so you don't wanna be cozying up on the couch in that. Also make sure that you bring enough clothes that you have something to wear to bed that hasn't been outside. Next, footwear. Hiking shoes, sneakers, slippers, and boots. All of these are great options for the chalet. Again, if you're hiking, then I would make sure that you've covered that need first. So pick a shoe that is somewhat weatherproof and good for hiking and will protect your feet no matter the terrain. The other pair of shoes I really like to bring are boots. Now these don't have to be full-on rain boots unless it's raining, but something that's at least water repellent and weatherproof. So these are such great options to bring to a chalet. The other pair of shoes you absolutely should not forget are some type of slippers. So these are kind of a big version of a slipper. I also have some slides. I have some Birkenstock Bostons that I wear. And you can obviously also just bring some thick socks to be your indoor slippers. Last few items I'd recommend packing for a weekend at the cottage are a hat that could either be a weatherproof outdoor hat or some sort of warm beanie. I would also recommend bringing some gloves and maybe a little neck warmer. I'd also recommend stocking up on some really nice warm socks because you might need to change them throughout the day depending on whether you've gone hiking outside. Other items, definitely bring a pair of pajamas. And if there's a spa nearby, a hot tub at the chalet, or you want to do a polar bear dip, definitely bring your bathing suit. And I would say sunglasses also. And if you do plan on being outside and then packing up your muddy or dirty shoes for the ride home, I do recommend bringing one of these versatile dry bags. This one is from Side by Side, and it's just something that you can easily clean so they don't dirty up your car or even the other things that you've packed in your bag. So what can you put all of this stuff in? Well, my preference really is a duffel bag for a weekend away. I feel like it gives me enough limitation that I don't overpack, but it's easy to toss into a car. And then as for my secondary purse or bag, so I can bring my camera, my phone, and maybe a lip balm and some sunscreen on a hike, I might bring this Uniqlo nylon bag. So that's it. These were my best tips for packing for a cottage over the weekend. I hope you get to enjoy a cottage getaway this fall, and I will see you in the next video. Happy travels. Thanks for watching this video until the end. For more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the Capsule Suitcase and turn on notifications so you get all the fresh content as soon as it comes out. Thanks for supporting this channel. Happy travels.